You already know what it is. Great Man of God Media TV back with another one. All right, family. So, of course, Canelo is making headlines once again. He did a press conference in Mexico with his TV production company, or TV network, I should say, in Mexico, TV Azteca. You know, the most important thing that people wanted to find out was who is he fight next? He's basically said a whole bunch of nothing because he left that part out. Basically, he held a press conference to announce another press conference of who he will be fighting next. He mentioned that he'll be fighting an American. Now, again, that's speculating. He's saying a whole bunch of nothing, and people are speculating that his next opponent, because he said his American, could be three guys: Jamal Charlo, Terrence Crawford, or David Benavidez. David Benavidez can play both sides, pause, because he is Mexican American. So, he's still considered American, but he has Mexican blood. His father's from Mexico, and I believe his mother's from Ecuador, some shit like that. If I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, those are the three names: Jamal Charlo, Terrence Crawford, and David Benavidez. Potentially could be Canelo Alvarez's next opponent on May the 4th. He also mentioned that, of course, he'll be fighting 5 more years. So get used to having Canelo fighting twice a year, 5 more years. I'm not sure who, the roster of fighters he'll be fighting in 5 years, but that'll be interesting. 5 more years of Canelo, which basically means he signed an extended contract with his TV network in Mexico, TV Azteca. So basically, like I said, this guy's the only dude, the so-called face of boxing, that can hold a press conference to announce another press conference. Essentially, that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because his next press conference, he's going to actually say the name of who he'll be fighting next. Like, who can do that? Nobody else in the sport of boxing can do that, can make a press conference to announce another press conference of who he'll be fighting next. Crazy work. Crazy work, but that's Canelo Alvarez for you. But again, since he mentioned that he'll be fighting an American, the speculation is Jamal Charlo, Terrence Crawford, or David Benavidez. Listen, man, everybody wants to see David Benavidez. Everybody wants to see him. Everybody wants to see him fight David Benavidez. Point blank and simple. Now, I mentioned that Canelo needs to fight David Benavidez this year. So whether it be in May or September, I'm cool with that. So if his next opponent is Terrence Crawford or Jamal Charlo, and then he fights David Benavidez after that in September, I'm cool with that. If he doesn't fight David Benavidez this year, it is a complete duck. And even though he's the cash cow and the face of boxing, he needs to be stripped, even though the sanctioning bodies won't do that because he brings in tons of revenue. He has a country behind him, and that won't happen because of who he is. But y'all got to do what's right, man. If he don't fight David Benavidez, he needs to be stripped this year. Seriously, point blank and simple. I know that's highly unlikely, but I gotta call it like I see it, man. Gotta call it down the middle. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it a buck, man. Like he needs to fight David Benavidez this year, point blank and simple. But because of the fact that he mentioned that his next opponent is an American, that rules out Jaime Munguia, right? He's not gonna fight a Mexican, right? Actual Mexican, which is Jaime Munguia. So he's not gonna fight him next. And that's, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Jaime Munguia as well. And then Benavidez next. That would be super dope. At least you're fighting legitimate 168 pounders, people who are campaigning your weight class. Because Jamal, Terrence Crawford, they don't campaign at 168. They'll be blown up at 168. That's not their natural weight, and they don't belong in that weight class. Especially Terrence Crawford, who's a welterweight who just wants a payday to fight Canelo Alvarez. Because again, where was that energy prior to you fighting Errol Spence? Right? More people wanted Errol Spence to fight more people wanted to see Errol Spence fight Canelo Alvarez before he fought Terrence Crawford. Since Terrence Crawford beat and annihilated Errol Spence, the energy shifted, and now all the Terrence Crawford fans want to see him move up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez because that energy did not exist prior to him fighting Errol Spence. So we all know it's just a payday for Terrence Crawford. That's all it is. I mean, he doesn't have any endorsements, right? He's not the highest paid boxer. We saw the list of fighters that are the highest paid in the sport. I believe it was Canelo number 1. You had Anthony Joshua. You had Ryan Garcia. You had Tank Davis. And I'm probably missing somebody else. But those are pretty much the top guys, the top paid guys in boxing right now. Terrence Crawford's nowhere near the list. So what does that mean? That means he only wants to fight a guy that is considered the face of boxing, the cash cow boxing, and that is Canelo Alvarez. Point blank and simple, man. He wants to get his money up. I'm sure he wants to get on the Forbes list and become the highest paid boxer or probably one of the highest paid athletes in the world. That's his goal. I'm pretty sure that is. He's not going to tell you that. But Terrence Crawford, I'm sure that's what you want. Subconsciously, I'm sure that's what you want. Especially fighting Canelo Alvarez, right? Want to cash out, right? But anyway, man, those are my thoughts on that, man. Like, again, like, Canelo is the only guy that can get away with making a press conference to announce another press conference because he's fighting an American. So make your speculations in the comment section. Who do you think he'll be fighting next as an American? Jamal Charlo, Terrence Crawford, or David Benavidez? Let me know in the comment section, family. Till next time, signing out. Peace.